Huh. I expected that result, but did not see that coming. It's weird. The new beginning usually sets up, well, what it implies. A lot of new beginnings. But you would think there would be like a shock moment, per se. I didn't really see that. But there's definitely a lot to look forward to as we continue this year in New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I still believe is going to be the biggest year to date. What a night, though, and a closer to this tour to remember, though. Hello, everybody. Now, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster. Welcome once again to another Simple Take. In this Simple Take, I'll be giving my brief recap, analysis, discussions, and basically post thoughts on the new beginning in Osaka. 2020's NJPW's New Beginning Tour has officially come to an end. And it was quite an end to remember. We had great matches, we had surprising moments, we had dream match setups, and we basically have events to look forward to as major announcements were disclosed, as well as we pretty much know our special showcase match coming up for the New Japan Pro Wrestling Anniversary Show. With that being said, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So our opening match was a fun 8-man tag with Legends galore, as once again we honor the career in the man known as Manabu Nakanishi, who basically after this, later on in Corrigan Hall this month, he is officially retiring. Now, of course, we had his own way. He would not be retiring, but again, circumstances out of your control. You don't have a choice in the matter sometimes. So, it is what it is. I respect this man. What's interesting about this match that we had with these four men, the team of Manabu Nakanishi, Togun Makabe, Satoshi Kojima, and I'm losing my train of thought. Apologies, folks. I'm very tired. Yushin Nagata, Blue Jets, should have known that. He's celebrating his 35th year in wrestling. The interesting thing is, and thank you, by the way, to people like Chris Sampson and Charles Robinson, who definitely have kept me informed and how I've learned a lot about these people. In this team, there have been 29 championships and 61 climax victories. That's a lot to think about, because when you think about nowadays, you look at wrestling, a lot of the legends are just spotlighted. You did this, you did that, you're here for a moment, blah, blah, blah. You can't go like you used to. And all four of these men, they brought it. Nobody took it easy. As they took the team of the coach Rizusuke Takuchi, who's been doing a lot, I might add, in these tag matches, getting a lot of victories, and his partners in Tamaki Homa, Dogi Makabe, and the Tohanare. I know, some of those names kind of run together. It's kind of weird when you think about it. Anyway, Tenson was the other one. Botch. I'm after Botchamania. Screwed up the first team. And this was everything that I expected. It really kicked off, though, of course, when Satoshi Kojima, he came in and chopped the hell out of Homa, as I expected. Of course, we got a few Kugoshis at this time. The Legends all tied up everybody in submission holds, including Nakanishi holding a Makabe in a torture rack position. And then, of course, Manabu with the Toga dance and the top rope chop. It's like a giant redwood falling on your head. That was ridiculous. Wicked clothesline. And the Legends win with them picking up the victory over Homa. And then following that, we get a heartfelt goodbye speech from Nakanishi, who basically wrestled his last match here in Osaka Joe Hall. By the way, sold out. Congratulations, New Japan Pro Wrestling. There are 12,000 people. One of the biggest sellouts ever. Anyway, he gave a heartfelt thank you, as 27 years it started in Osaka. And now we see pretty much where it has ended. Now, don't get me wrong. He still has a few matches left on the New Japan Road. But again, this is it. Pretty much this month, he's done. So, arigato to the man, Manabu Nakanishi. The crowd greatly appreciated it. I enjoyed this match. It was a lot of fun. Moving on from there. Let me just say, as far as what I think might be next for all these men, you have former never openweight 6-man tag team champions in Togi Makabe, Rizusuke Taguchi, and Toru Yano, who's MIA. And then, of course, you have Tenson and Kojima, who formerly participated in the World Tag Cup. I could see them definitely participating in that more. Maybe Kojima will be in the New Japan Cup this year. I would find that to be very interesting. And Toru now, who's trying to really prove a point, wants to compete with heavyweights, and right now really has his eyes set on Shingo Takagi. Will that never openweight title match actually happen and come to fruition? Only time will tell. As of right now, the person in Shingo Takagi's front view is the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii. And that match is going to be brutal. And anyway, as far as Taguchi goes, well, you'll learn in a moment what might be next for that guy. Let's go ahead and go into our next match, which was for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. As the current team, Roppongi 3K. Hello, Cindy. And they are facing my boys in Suzuki-gun. Yes, that is my favorite faction, in case you haven't figured it out. in El Desperado, who returned back last year at King of Pro Wrestling, and the heel master Yoshinobu Kanemaru. These two guys are no strangers to this tag team gold, and they took every advantage in the book to make sure they could possibly win it. As before this event occurred, they literally destroyed what seemed to be Sho's left leg. And that was really the focal point of this match, as Sho took a blunt of the punishment. No pun intended. I'm not Pete Dunne, and I'm not with Matt Riddle. Bro. Anyway. And this was their fourth reign and their first defense in their fourth reign. They've only had one reign where they've actually made it through at least one defense, so clearly they did not want to lose the titles here. And of course, Suzuki-gun, former champions, they had those titles for nearly a year, went into Wrestle Kingdom with them. Anyway, Sho was extremely banged up. He took a blunt of the punishment, and basically his leg was worked over most of the entire match by the heel master, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, who literally tied him up in multiple submission holds, including a stretch muff for using his leg. Ouch. And a figure four leg lock. Again, flair, iconic among wrestling, no matter where you are or how old you are. But Yo gets a hot tag, and he and Desperado have quite the exchange. This gives me some sort of highlighting, I think, that might come from Best of Super Juniors. Maybe if both men are involved. As Sho developed a feud with Shingo, I'm sure that still exists. And now Yo looks like he's developing a feud with El Desperado. As when Yo got in here, he mostly confronted and dealt with El Desperado. But anyway, following this, Sho looked like he's about to tap, but the will and the endurance of this man, he somehow makes it to the rope, and he gets the break. We finally go for the heel master trying to pull off his move, Deep Impact. First time he fails, second time he pulls it off. Near fall, not enough. By the way, Rocky Romero was in their corner. No stinky style involved in this match whatsoever, except I guess you could think about the pre-match attack, or beginning match attack that didn't work in their favor, trying to do a Suzuki-gun tactic, didn't work. But anyway, as we move down towards this match, Satori's surprise almost comes into play where Yoshinobu Kanemaru, he takes a swig of whiskey and about to spin in the person's face. Denied by Sho, who literally covers the mouth, kicks him, it goes up in the air. But anyway, following this, he pulls off his finisher somehow, some way, damaged leg and all, and boy did he take punishment in this. My God, I hope his leg's okay. Shock arrow finisher, 1, 2, not enough. But then we now learn, and this is the second time they pull it out because this is how they won the titles back at Wrestle Kingdom this year. Man, what a show Wrestle Kingdom was. It's called Strong X, where he not only sets him up for the shock arrow, but his partner Yo pulls a double stomp, literally planting their opposition in the middle of the ring, and he pins Yoshinobu Kanemaru 1, 2, 3, Roppongi 3K, successfully retains. But there was still that subtlety confrontation with El Desperado and Yo. Again, I sense that these four are not done with each other by a long shot, but at least for the titles they are. And Yo versus El Desperado, I think, is coming very soon. But not as soon as I think this might be, as we got a very interesting setup, new beginning, for potentially their next challengers, which can only be considered teachers versus coaches or students in a respectable bout, but for the titles. As Rizusuke Taguchi comes out, sporting a basketball gear, and sporting the Mega Coaches shirt that they wore when they were a team during the Super Junior Tag League, and had a very good run, I might add. But Taguchi poses the challenge to Rocky Romero. You're a great wrestler. We're great together. Why don't you and I go for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships? And this was interesting to say the least, because Rocky was like, I'm not sure. But then you see Sho and Yo, they seem game for it. And then Rocky, Kobe, they shoot a basketball through Taguchi's arms. And next thing you know, he's like, I'm down. And apparently, Roppongi 3K, they're down too. So New Japan Pro Wrestling match officials got a lot on their hands to figure about now. But honestly, I would love to see this match. I hope it comes as early as the anniversary show. Only time will tell. But apparently, we'll finally see if Roppongi 3K can surpass their coaches. Because not only has Rocky Romero been a huge part in Roppongi 3K, but since Rocky Romero has been more involved in the American scene with the New Beginning Tour in America, Rizusuke Taguchi has been helping Roppongi 3K through this New Beginning Tour in all these tag matches, picking up wins, also leading and guiding this team as well. Both men have played incredible parts in these two men's growth as a duo. So I'm very curious, and I'm looking forward to this tag team title match, if it comes to fruition. Only time will tell. Anyway, they also do bring up the point, though, how Shingo Takagi, he and Sho had quite a feud last year, and you remember their incredible match with Best Super Juniors, which was the starting point of Shingo Takagi's unstoppable run through the Grand Prix. They're not really tournaments, they're Grand Prix. And basically, it's like, okay, well, Sho, maybe he wants to go after Shingo Takagi from their openweight title. But for now, I guess that's in the rearview mirror. Because not only is Ishii right now the front runner to face Shingo Takagi for their openweight championship, but right now, Prime 4K, looks like they got their next challengers on their hands. I think my only concern at this point, I just hope Sho's leg is okay. Yeah, they won the title and they successfully defended them, but was the risk to your career worth it? That gum. Anyway, moving on from there, we get an 8-man tag team showcase as Bullet Club versus New Japan Pro Wrestling main unit. That's what they basically call people who aren't part of any faction. As we had the team of the former, yes, I said it, former IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions in FinJuice, Juice Robinson and David Finlay, who lost the titles unexpectedly, I might add, during the New Beginning Tour in the USA, thanks to help from Master Heater, Jado, and that damn kendo stick, as GLD claimed their titles now for the 6th time. But their partners in this match were a new uprising tag team that I'm very looking forward to seeing what can come from it, as we had the ace of New Japan, and probably the man with the best hair in the business. That man never has a bad hair day, my gosh. In Hiroshi Tanahashi and his partner, the Golden Star, Kota Ibushi. And they're facing Bullet Club's Yujiro Takahashi with Peter. And their partners, the newly signed Chase Owens, and of course the newly crowned tag team champions in GOD, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Told you guys. Anyway, this match was everything I thought it would. Right out the gate, though, you don't mess with Tanahashi's hair. And it was literally pulled in the forefront. And Chase Owens and him, they have the control in the early going. There was also another sub-story in this match where they're saying Chase Owens fears Kota Ibushi fears Chase Owens because, Chase Owens Kota Ibushi was supposed to have a one-on-one during the USA tour. Well, guess what? Kota Ibushi, for the sake of everybody, he was sick with influenza, apparently. Could not be on the tour. That could have jeopardized everybody. Get your facts straight. Anyway, and this match proved it right here. Keeping it simple, there was a great exchange between Chase Owens and Kota Ibushi where they literally kicked each other for the forefront and then a rebound clothesline dropped Kota. That was wicked. And then the Golden Aces, basically, as I like to call them, as we get a hot tag from the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi. He's dealing with GOD, and that candlestick came into play not once but twice, but it turned out to be a detriment as, believe it or not, the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi, it's not even a victory roll. He literally just gets a roll up with his body over the tag team champions. Not only did NJPW main unit team win here, but the ace just pinned 1/2 of the newly crowned tag team champions. And of course, typical Bullet Club tactics, they try and take him out post-match attack. But the Golden Star comes into play. Kota Ibushi saves the ace. And basically, we get a very interesting confrontation, I might say. Maybe a dispute between the former tag champs and what you might call your new number one contenders at this point in Kota Ibushi and the Ace. So my thoughts are this. Will FinJuice get their rematch? Or will they be put to the back of the line? Because NJPW is not one that normally does automatic rematches. Everything is earned. And here we have this new tag team forming in the Ace and the Golden Star, who just pinned 1/2 of the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions and formally challenged the former champs for a tag team title bout, which they were game for. Obviously, GOD, I don't think they're not. But then again, they might be out to prove a point because, again, they just won the titles, but one of them just got pinned. I believe it was Tonga Loa that got pinned. Someone can correct me on that. Anyway, I'm very curious to see what could happen here. Are we going to get a triple threat match for these tag titles? Are we going to get a number one contenders match for these tag team titles? Or are we literally just going to get Kota Ibushi and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus GOD for those tag team titles? The bottom line is this. I consider we're going to get a tag team title match before the New Japan Cup, as we still have the anniversary show on the forefront. And there's still a whole lot left to February. Only time will tell. But either way, this tag team division, it definitely seems to be heating up. And with this new team that seems to be forming and now part of it, that's great. Because one of my biggest disputes is this tag division needs more tag teams, needs more competition. GOD has been in the ring and beat them all. They have yet to beat the duo, I believe, in a 2-on-2 match of Kota Ibushi and the Ace. This will be a first time ever. I'm game. Only time will tell. Now, following this, before we continue the show, we had a couple of very special announcements that made me truly excited. First off, yes, New Japan Pro Wrestling is returning to America to the greatest venue in professional wrestling, Madison Square Garden, for their own super show. Literally just them. No collision with Ring of Honor, so it's not a G1 Supercard. It is simply called Wrestle Dynasty. Could this be a form of a Wrestle Kingdom on American soil? I am so excited to see this. It really makes me wish I wasn't in college and I could save up and see this live. I get it, summer vacation, but it's probably the week before class, so it's probably not going to happen for me. But I'll definitely be watching and predicting and covering it. But anyway, Madison Square Garden, August 22nd, and might I add, the same day as NXT TakeOver. Oh, jeez. Because that's SummerSlam weekend. They are going to put on a show called Wrestle Dynasty, a literal forefront showcase of New Japan Pro Wrestling on its own. You all saw G1 Supercard. New Japan Pro Wrestling blew all the Ring of Honor matches out of the water. I just got a call like it is. Now they're going to host their own super show in Madison Square Garden. This is incredible. This is history. I'm excited. But also following that, we learned that the G1 will mostly coincide and start and continue through in Osaka in September. Because again, we have the Olympics taking place in Tokyo. So the G1 was pushed back to the fall. I'm very curious to see how that will help with ticket sales and an outlook and what sort of formula they will go through during this year's G1, which I might add is the 30th anniversary. It's going to be the most stacked, diverse field ever, and in my opinion, if this man isn't in it, it's a freaking crime. But I digress. Anyway, one last announcement they did propose, and this is great for all those great New Japan Pro Wrestling fans right there on their own soil, is that New Japan Pro Wrestling will return to prime time television in New Japan. Congratulations to them. And according to Chris Charlton, it apparently has been decades since this has happened. So this is a major achievement for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Once again, growing bigger than ever. And I'm very happy for them. As we continue down this card, it is also, of course, highlighted that next month starts off the New Japan Cup. And then you obviously have to consider, regardless of when we get to the main event, whoever the champ is, at the end of the New Japan Cup at Sakura Genesis, so we don't have an April Super Show, you obviously got to consider that the winner of the New Japan Cup will face the champion for both IWGP, Intercontinental, and Heavyweight titles at Sakura Genesis. But again, only time will tell. Now, let's go into a 2-on-2 tag team showcase with 4 of the best New Japan Pro Wrestling has to offer. Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada and his partner, the aerial assassin Will Ospreay, who might I add, this Friday will face Zack Sabre Jr. for the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship at York Hall at high stakes for the title. 7 years in the making. Can he pull it off this time? Well, time will tell. And ironically, that was one of the people they were facing. As they faced Zack Sabre Jr. and all hail the Holy Emperor in Taiji, escorted by Miho Abe. And of course, if you don't know, this duo is known as Dangerous Tekkers. That's why when you heard Zack Sabre Jr. at Wrestle Kingdom say, bloody Tekkers, that's basically their kind of unit, okay? These two are a very formidable tag team when you have the Ultimate Submissions Master and one of the most aggressive strikers in the game with some of the lethal kicks by Kota Ibushi in Taiji. But this match was extremely short, fast, sweet, clean, simple. As basically chaotic start and literally, of course, Suzuki going with other tactics, and Taiji, he comes into the ring and he's attacking Okada. Wicked kicks as always. But then from there, we get really the real story of this match as, of course, we're hyping up to see who gets momentum heading towards the match at York Hall. As Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay, they duped it out once again. Move for move, pound for pound, and eventually Zack Sabre Jr. locks up Will Ospreay's arm, but Will Ospreay lifts him up with a one-arm power slam, slams him to the mat. We get more kicks, and literally Taiji, he comes back into play, and we get the other story here of Taiji versus Okada, where clearly these two, I think more Taiji than Okada, they want to face each other again one-on-one. Because at this point, according to their actual history, it's 1-1. They need a rubber. And basically, that was kind of told here as Taiji and Okada, they kicked things off, no pun intended, when Okada got his head kicked off, and then pulled off, of course, his classic dropkick moves. And the pants came off. Sorry, Angel Gaza. Taiji's got the best pants in the business and rips them off the best. There, I said it. But anyway, it came down to a Chaos Tag Team Fury combination. As Okada and Taiji were in the ring, Taiji was fixing to set up for his finisher when not only he got hook kicked, he got drop kicked in the back of the head. Will Ospreay goes suicide diving through the ropes, takes out Zack Sabre Jr., and Okada, of course, pulls off Rainmaker and pins Taiji. 1, 2, 3. What I found very curious about this is, 1, this was an extremely short match with the pace that was going. And 2, the mic and the glove did not come into play at all. There was rarely any shenanigans in this. So it honestly leads me to believe that Taiji, he might be trying to be that wrestler that we all know he can be. Because I still feel like he could be a breakout star in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Why he's looked at as one of the black sheep of the four that came into New Japan, wasn't really made in New Japan, tried to raise New Japan during those dark ages. But Okada and Tanahashi and Ishii, they all ascended above him. Anyway, and of course afterwards you have Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr., they're jabbing words. He's like, this Friday, 7 years, I finally do it. That title becomes mine. And Zack Sabre Jr., of course, is like, you dickhead, you moron. No, this title's not yours. Take a look at it. That's the closest you're going to get to it. I am looking very forward to this match. And yes, I do have a subscription to Rev Pro. It's one of my favorite British promotions. But I digress. Again, wrestling is pretty much part of my life. Simple as that. Moving on from there, we now go into what you would say is the meat of the card, as we look into our first time ever matches, special attractions, and more championship matches. And it starts off with this. Cold Skull Sanada, who apparently has not had a singles victory, I can't believe this, since the freaking G1 over Lance Archer and Okada, I believe, according to what they said on commentary, versus the Switchblade, Jay White, who has had one of the most momentous years reached in New Japan Pro Wrestling in 2019, and was out to prove a point and take advantage of a new opportunity. And he did it here, in the longest match so far of the night, that went practically 22 minutes. Basically, oh, by the way, Marty Asami was the referee, so no red shoe like biased nonsense here that Jay White could actually say in case he did lose. And of course, he had Gato in his corner, bucket hat and all. This match was definitely worked Jay White's favor, slow pace, methodical, mind games aside. It really picked up when a wicked DDT happened that made Gato super excited. And of course, Jay White works over the leg of Sanada. Following this, though, as the match kept going, Sanada tried to go for the Paradise Lock. Not once, but twice. And somehow, he finally gets Jay White locked in the Paradise Lock. Milano was ecstatic. Gail's like, this is crazy. But I will say this, as one of my friends on Twitter said, Jay White made history because not only was he just trying to escape it, he was like, ref, ref, ref. That's one of the go-tos, it seems anymore, for Jay White when he's in a situation. You know, it just baffles me, though, that the Paradise Lock could literally be used to give you a count-out victory. But again, I guess Sanada's not heel. Just saying. Anyway, eventually, he gives the key, which is a kick to the butt, and he frees him from the Paradise Lock. Then Gato tries to get involved again. He got involved 3 times here. Marty Asami was very lenient against Jay White's strategy. Some would say shenanigans, red shoes, but these strategies here. And pretty much it played to his favor. But then the 4th time, Gato gets caught on the top rope, and Sanada literally sees him, but Gato's like, I'm not doing anything, I'll get down, okay? Thank you. Well, he gets a rope to the groin. History repeats itself. Anyway, following this, Sanada takes control. He literally locks Jay White in the skull and for an indefinite period of time, to the point like his one-on-one match with Okada back at King Pro Wrestling, you would think he would incapacitate the man. We were going to get a referee stoppage because there would be no response. Nope. He lets him go, and I don't understand why he does that. And he goes for his Muda Moonsault, again, an omen to, I guess, his Roma. I guess that's why he does it. And basically, he misses. There's a couple of close calls here and there with some near falls. We get a double leg Nelson by Sanada. Not enough. And then following this, wicked sleeper suplex. Man, that fucking Omega hits that hard. Jay White sleeper suplexes the hell out of Sanada. And then, as the match progressed, we get a Blade Runner, and that was it. Jay White wins 1, 2, 3. So once again, Sanada, who had one of the biggest momentums, I think, as an appeal and a favorite New Japan Pro Wrestling last year, he's on the losing end. What does this man have to do to get momentum? What does he have to do to break out? What does he need to win? When is he going to win? He has not won a singles match for nearly 6 months. Once again, his run right now just in the toilet. Is he going to go on an excursion at this point? You got to imagine he's going to be involved in the New Japan Cup. Both these men are. What would be interesting, though, is if Jay White is involved in the New Japan Cup, and if those brackets, match up and Sanada and him eventually face each other, Jay White will be going in trying to become champion. Last year, he was the champion. He was just watching from the outside. Now he's literally got to be part of the field if he wants to get close to those 2 belts. But I digress. A very competitive, psychological, slower-paced match, the Jay White formula you would expect. But Sanada definitely needs to do something with his game, I feel like, if he wants to pick up wins here. Maybe he could literally use the Paradise Lock for a count victory and go on a heel turn, I might say. Because, honestly, Paradise Lock could give somebody a count-out win. Simple as that. But again, will he ever do that? I don't know. But I did say earlier, 2020 is going to be a breakout year for many incredible people in the wrestling industry, and Sonata is one of my picks. He impressed me thoroughly last year, and you only can lose so much before you really bring yourself up. There's got to be big things planned for this guy. Come on now. Anyway, moving on from there, we go into... Oh, Jesus Christ almighty. You know, I wouldn't say it was a shocker. It was certainly stress-inducing. What the hell are these two men made of? And what are they thinking? This match right here probably was my match of the night. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Ticking Time Bomb! Hiromu Takahashi versus Ryu Lee. These guys have had history dating all the way back to 2018, where literally he not only won the title, he failed to survive physically. Lost himself. Said he died that day. But he's back. Hiromu Takahashi and Dragon Lee, as he was formerly known, they faced off against each other for the title, and Hiromu retained it. But again, there was a lethal move that basically put Hiromu on the shelf for 582 days. If you look at the press conference, Ryu Lee has literally just been thinking about that. And then, of course, Hiromu Takahashi, he has been waiting on this forever. He doesn't even look at Naito as the main event. He looks at this as the main event, as he just wants to bring Mota. More fun and apparently more eyes to this title and this division. So far, hell of a job. And then, of course, he serenaded Ryu Lee during the press conference. Quite a singing voice. Anyway, let's talk about this match. Holy hell. I've seen chops done by some of the most lethal men in the game with lethal hands. Up to this point, I figured Walter, who I still believe has the most impactful singles chop. Imagine if he chopped you, I don't know, 55 times, and I'm probably still under count. This match literally started off as a testament of wills. Right out of the gate, both men suplex each other, not once, but twice, then crash with each other in the middle of the ring. Then both men get up, and literally, they welcome each other and test each other's wills. As they chop, and 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 chop, you get the idea. For literally, within the first 5 minutes of this match, I figured it was like 4 minutes and 15 seconds of chops. I lost count. You thought that was enough? Nope. We get a head scissors, turnaround, and then suicide dive launch off the barricade. That was ridiculous in itself. That was the fastest I've ever seen a suicide dive, as really launches up like a bullet after setting up Hiromu on the barricade, launching him head first, I might add, hitting the table, then going to the floor, both men on the floor. There are so many moments I was worried about both these men's health, especially Hiromu's health. And they're still chopping each other, and still chopping each other, and still chopping each other, and still chopping each other, to the point that I'm surprised either man is breathing. Both men's chests are bruised, red, purple, bulging out. They are going to be feeling that for days on end. These two are not human. I don't care what you tell me. Anyways, this match continued. He went for that lethal spot that put Hiromu on the shelf like 2 times in this match, and I was like, God, no! Anyway, sunset bomb in the back of the ring drops him on his head. Jesus. And literally we get a wicked double stomp maneuver by Hiromu that drops Ryu Lee head first in the apron. I thought Kota Ibushi was the only one reckless with his neck. God! Anyway, as we moved on through this match, there was a ridiculous overhead throw from the apron to the floor by Hiromu. Ryu Lee crashed and burned. And might I add, Ryu Lee after this match, he had to go over to Free Enterprise in Baltimore, Maryland to compete in Ring of Honor with his brother in his own faction of Eagle Nobles in Roos and Kenny King. Anyway, as this match continued, we finally get the Hiromu bomb for our first fall. Not enough. And then moving on from there, these two men, we thought they were going to chop forever, and they basically did. I thought they were going to suplex each other forever. As we got suplex after suplex after suplex. Eat your heart out, Brock Lesnar. Suplex City my ass. And they suplex the hell out of each other. And then we get the appropriately named Basta Driver for another near fall. Not enough, because that driver will wreck your face. Wicked knee strike, and then a counter into a destroyer. Unbelievable. And then an exposed knee strike, I might add, by Ryu Lee. Still not enough. Then we get a pop-up into another destroyer. My God, these two men's necks. And as the match progressed, it was not 1 time bomb, but 2 time bomb ones, I might add, that finally ended this cacophony of human destruction and well-being and safety to give Hiromu the win where we can finally feel he can move on. 1, 2, 3. Hiromu freaking retain. But of course, my stress levels, they're only going to reduce for a limited time because right after the match, what happens? Hiromu and Rio, they look at each other and they go, one more time. Look, if you're going to do one more time, can we at least hold off for a year? Save your necks. This was a beautiful, fast-paced, furious, scary as hell, and I loved it. Absolutely incredible match, and finally, I think Hiromu can move on to carrying this division the way he wants to, bring it to the forefront, and honestly, these two have probably my favorite match of the night. Until we actually get into the next one, and I feel like it was shorter than it should have been, but I digress. And as far as what I think for next for both men, obviously really he's going to be back probably Best Super Juniors, and Hiromu Takahashi, since he is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, clearly, as tradition at the anniversary show that's coming up next month, he will face the IWGP Heavyweight /Intercontinental Champion in a specials one-on-one match, no titles on the line. But damn, that's a lot of gold in that match. And imagine, LIJ match, or, first time ever also, Kenta versus Hiromu. That'd be interesting, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But before we get into that, our next match, our semi-main event. This show was like 3 main events, I gotta be honest with you. As Minoru Suzuki, the King, Kasaninare, he challenged Jon Moxley. I am not Justin Roberts, respect to the man. For the IWGP United States Championship. And Red Shoes, by the way, was the referee, who basically was there to just count the 3 count. Because there's no way in hell, for his own well-being, I might add, he was either going to put a DQ in this match or count out these 2 men. Although there was some close countouts. Anyway. Minoru, he's waiting for Jon Moxley in the middle of the ring. And then, of course, we get Jon Moxley's music hits. And basically, Jon Moxley, he challenges Minoru Suzuki, who is smiling on end, I might add. Cracking his hands, getting ready. And Moxley, he's just cracking his hands, getting ready. He challenges him to meet him on the rampway. Minoru, he wants up that. Okay, I'll meet you on the rampway. Let's have a duel with steel chairs. And then these 2 men beat each other with the chair. Never got contact, though, thankfully. But then as they try and get into the ring, we have fists and fists and fist galores, wicked headbutts, and exchange of biting. Good lord. And then pretty much the story came here. Minoru Suzuki, he had enough of this boy. He's going to try and destroy him, so he works on his right arm. At one point, Jon Moxley goes for a traditional stable, pulling out a table, and it looks like he's trying to powerbomb the man. But Minoru Suzuki, he ones up him, gets a submission hold, and then he lays Jon Moxley's arm inside a chair, goes for another chair, and at this point we think he just broke Jon Moxley's right arm as he bashes the chair on chair, arm in the middle. And then he swings the arm also into the steel ring post for added measure. Ouch. Anyway, following that, he goes once again for another submission, but Jon Moxley, the ever-evolved participant he is, he literally somehow, one arm lifts the King and power bombs him through the table. And you literally see him smiling. By the way, Minoru Suzuki pretty much smiling this entire match. What the hell? Anyway, as we move on for this match, we literally find these 2 men. I think at this point they both lost their minds. Minoru Suzuki, he gets up, he's laughing, he has a piece of the wood, and he's literally bashing it on his head, while Jon Moxley's in the ring, bashing another piece of that broken table to his head. What the hell am I watching? Anyway, there was a sleeper hold underneath the chin. Of course, Minoru Suzuki's stable, you probably would set him up for the God-style pile driver. Not quite. And then Jon Moxley, he takes over with, of course, Regal knee strike. Not enough to pin the King or beat the King. And Minoru Suzuki continues to laugh. Elevated Death Rider. I thought this was it. No, it was not. The King kicks out. And then we get the most wicked spot of the match, in my opinion, as the King continues to laugh and smiles, as Jon Moxley plants, and I mean plants, and breaks a chair over the head. Top of the head of Minoru Suzuki, who's just laughing, by the way, laughing it off. And basically, we just see Suzuki with the most sadistic smile I have ever seen. This is probably the most fun he's ever had in a match. Anyway, as the match continued, there was the kiss of death. They're still fighting each other, calling each other out. We get the Fury. We have strikes, of course, by the King with the Blizzard. Jon Moxley, of course, continuing to challenge Suzuki's game. He's like, come on, you fucker. And basically, beyond that, another, as we go towards the end of this match, Elevated Death Rider gives, damn it, Jon Moxley the win. 1, 2, 3. While Minoru Suzuki still lays down, face up, smiling, grinning ear to ear in the middle of the ring. This is probably the most fun in a war Minoru Suzuki has ever had in his entire life, as he literally looks at Jon Moxley as a guy just like him. He's not the conventional. He made himself. He literally is an all-round wrestler. He loves dishing pain. He loves feeling pain. It thrives him. I want to see these two go at it again. I would have loved to see these two continue to fight forever. I even made a bold optimization and prediction that these guys were going to go the 60-minute time limit to a draw. I was wrong. I don't think it was even 30 minutes. So much fun, a cacophony of destruction, and a challenge of human wills. I want to see this again. I was hoping that we were going to get a shocker and the King was going to win. Kind of like ref stoppage type thing, like he did when he beat Hiroshi Tanahashi for the Intercontinental title in Sapporo 2 years ago. I was wrong. Anyway, the ultimate sign of respect, though, Jon Moxley gets to the top of the turnbuckle. He sees Minoru Suzuki, who's believing on his own power, might add, refuses to help, bows to the man. But of course, he still is the King of America, and he holds the title. So, as Jon Moxley celebrates, what the hell? Zack Sabre Jr. comes out and lays out Jon Moxley in a chokehold, incapacitating the man. Once again, Jon Moxley has been laid out by someone from Suzuki Gun after celebrating a victory, successfully retaining his IWGP United States Championship. And now, we might have the case where, thanks Naito, the theme is double gold, as Zack Sabre Jr. looks like he wants to become the IWGP United States Champion. Folks, we're on the verge of maybe a British/United States champion in Zack Sabre Jr. So get ready, folks. Jon Moxley and Zack Sabre Jr. You want a war, you got it. Now you're going to see the most bizarre form of a technical classic to date. Because we both know Jon Moxley's not just a deaf wrestler. He is actually a professional wrestler. He can wrestle all games. That's how he was able to submit freaking Shingo Takagi during the freaking G1 last year. We know he can do it. He can wrestle Zack Sabre Jr.'s game. Can he beat Zack Sabre Jr. though? And will Zack Sabre Jr. still have the British Heavyweight Championship come after this Friday? That is the question. I'm very looking forward to this and see how this plays out. Now, imagine if Jon Moxley comes out this Friday after Zack Sabre Jr. and Ospreay's match and attacks Zack Sabre Jr. regardless of results. Would not surprise me one bit. Alright, and as far as Minoru Suzuki goes, put this man in the G1, put this man in the Japan Cup. I need to go see his exclusive comments. I need to go watch the press conference too. And I want to see this match made again. I loved it. And there was always questions surrounding, is Minoru Suzuki going to stay in New Japan Pro Wrestling, because he was unhappy for a while until he had the Joseph Thunder Liger program. He's probably was happy again with Jon Moxley. He probably wants to do it again. So, honestly, I don't know what's next for the King, but I do hope to see him face Jon Moxley again. Maybe a New Japan Cup match? Only time will tell. Anyway, as we move on from there into our main events for the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championships, the current champ, Tetsuya Naito versus Kenta, with full Bullet Club in tow. Everybody that was there that night. And they immediately get booted out. Because Red Shoes is the ref. He's like, I'm not going to deal with this nonsense. You guys need to leave. But of course, GOD, they kind of pushed Red Shoes even further to do it after he said he was sorry, but he lost his cool. He pushed Red Shoes. Good thing the match was officially on. And Red Shoes outs everybody, including Gato, to the back. GOD, Yujiro, Chase Owens, Gato, Jado, and of course, Jay White. Bye-bye, everybody. So we get the one-on-one match, and this was a very interesting story, as the first half of this match really was about Kenta controlling the pace and getting the crowd reaction, as a cacophony chorus of boos rained down on the fanged Bullet Club member. And basically, at this point, it really didn't pick up until a lockup happened. Short-term lockup, I might add. Kenta immediately leaves the ring again. And then Naito, of course, he pulls off Tranquilo. But Kenta, he tries to take advantage immediately. That's the first time I've ever seen someone try and do that. And basically he did, throwing Naito in every corner of the barricade possible. And oh my! Wicked DDT. He took like 4 DDTs during this match. First DDT, out on the floor, in the middle of the Iron's Way. And Kenta enlisting more heat, literally taking a fan's LIJ teddy bear and just pressing his foot down on it. Basically saying, I stand above LIJ, I stand above Naito. Anyway, as this match progressed, we get more Irish whips, and then Kenta, he works the corners. He needs to look at Yano's strategy because it takes him longer than 4 seconds. And pulls off a turnbuckle pad, exposing all 3 corners because that's the way New Japan Pro Wrestling games are set up. And literally at one point, he Irish whips Tetsuya Naito into the exposed corner. Ouch. Wicked knee strike and another DDT for a near fall, not enough. And then Naito gets the better of him, a throwback to his match with Kota Ibushi with an apron neck breaker. Ouch. And then another DDT suspended from the barricade to the floor on Naito. Anyway, there's of course that staple of Kenta with the drop kick in the corner, and then a wicked pop-up spinebuster by Naito. This is when these two men finally started wrestling, going back and forth with each other about 15 minutes in, I believe. And then he pulls his submission hold in with game over, but Naito showing the will, showing the perseverance he has, and he has been damaged goods for a long time, people. And they were talking about this during the match. I like the chemistry that Gino Gambino and Chris Charlton shared between the history of, Kenta did it this way, Okada did it this way, you guys are like this with Chaos, I'm on commentary because someone has to be unbiased against Bullet Club, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, wicked knee strike, still not enough, and then we get a heel kick with a swing DDT, only for that to be pushed into a Super Rana. Naito starts taking over. Gloria, but after that, Red Shoes is taken down. Not once, but twice. The first time was inadvertent. Second time, Kenta clearly pushed Red Shoes into him. Which, of course, then led to Bullet Club shenanigans as Jay White came back down and basically took out a ghost from his past. He said he had a plan in the very beginning before he got booted out. I guess it was part of the plan. Jay White, he literally blade runs Naito and tries to get the ref back in play, tries to call for damage to give Kenta the 2 belts. But who comes out and tries to save Naito? Good brother Chris's favorite person. Bushi. But Bushi gets immediately taken out by Jay White. But then who comes out after that? Not Sonata, to my surprise. Hiromu Takahashi, who then takes out Jay White, and both men are gone. We're back to the 1-1 situation. The ref is finally trying to basically bring himself back to forefront. And then we get a wicked rolling lariat by Kenta. He nearly gets him with a roll-up on the tights. Closest near fall of the match. But then the match really told another story here, as I think we were getting to the end of it, as eventually Naito, he is face first sent into the exposed turnbuckle, bleeding like a sieve. God. Wicked poison Rana spot though. Valencia, and finally, as the match progressed, Destino, and Naito successfully retains in the first IWGP Heavyweight Intercontinental Championship match. Dual champ match. And that's it pretty much, because Naito finally conquered the guy that pretty much he sees a lot of himself in, and also the guy that cost him the roll call and his moment after match from Wrestle Kingdom. As he just says, Kenta, just go straight to the back. I'm done with you, man. It was quite an interesting match. I think it was the longest match of the night. It told a very interesting story. It was very slow in the forefront. But then again, a wrestling match does not have to be just all action. Sometimes you just need to look at the psychology involved here. And Kenta right now is really brilliant in that. I, again, need to go see the post-match comments and see the press comments, see what they might have set up already for New Japan World and the new anniversary show. But we do know one match that was officially set up. As Naito, he finally goes, Buenas noches, Osaka! And then he talks about how I had done this, what you all think about this. I have big aspirations and ambitions on what to do with these 2 titles. He appreciates and respects what Kenta did. He wants to see more of that type of stuff coming out of everybody. He wants everybody to come after him. But before that, he also wants a special one-on-one match. And he knows the tradition of anniversary show and the anniversary show is coming up. Now that he successfully retained his titles, it is tradition that the IWGP Heavyweight, now Intercontinental also, champion faces the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. He calls out Hiromu Takahashi, thanks him for helping him with the save, but he also asks, as tradition, and they've never done it before, first ever one-on-one, and Naito brought Hiromu under his wing as a young lion into the legend. If it wasn't for Naito, we probably would have never had a ticking time on to begin with. Will you face me one-on-one? C or no? And both men simply answered with C. As again, Naito took him under his wing as a young lion. This is going to be an incredible specials one-on-one match between literally teacher versus student. And all 3 titles are in the middle of the ring. Naito finally pulls off the roll call for LIJ. The confetti falls. Naito has achieved everything I think he's ever wanted. Probably happier than ever before. Is he ever truly happy? I don't know. History will never be removed. Could it ever be healed? Only time will tell. And what sort of other surprise awaits us at the anniversary show, New Japan Road? Who will be involved in the New Japan Cup? What breakout stars will come from that, like Lance Archer and more? Only time will tell. But that was the end of the show and the end of the new beginning in Osaka. And as far as Kenta goes, there's no doubt he's still going to have massive heat, and he's going to want to go after Naito again. I sense Kenta and Jay White meeting each other in the New Japan Cup, and that will define the direction of Bullet Club for 2020. Mark my words. But also, Sonata, where are you? What are your thoughts? What's next for you, dude? But with that being said, those are my brief thoughts, takeaways, recaps, and analysis of the new beginning in Osaka as the new beginning tour has officially come to an end. Also, congratulations, good brother Chris. You won by one match in the Team NJPW Predictions League game for the entire New Beginning Tour. I bow down to you. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in along the ride for me with all these predictions and simple takes from the New Beginning Tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope you look forward to what's next in New Japan Pro Wrestling, as I will continue to cover all the big shows, including what's next, Anniversary Show, and the New Japan Cup. And who knows what other breaking news, stories, takes, and other things I might do. With that being said, I am done here. Thank you for tuning in. Please, if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man. And if you haven't figured out by now, I am a lifelong fan of wrestling. So if you want to follow me and talk anything wrestling, even sports entertainment, the 5 brands of WWE, NWA, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, my number 1, Stardom, Pro Wrestling Noah, OWE, Impact Wrestling, and Independent Wrestling in general. Support Pro Wrestling, folks, because that's where it all starts. Look me up on Twitter, nodq.com/Noah, takes to my Twitter page, or at Enfoster916 for those that hate URLs. I am the simple man of NoDQ. Or follow me on Instagram, at Enfoster1916. I'll give you a nice hello, my thoughts, retrospectives, news and wrestling, some inspiration, something to brighten your day. I'm just a simple man. Also, follow my simple YouTube channel here, youtube.com/user/NoahFoster210. New content every week. At the heart of it, my series, hashtag 205 Live Matters. There'll be more predictions, retrospectives, takes, and recaps coming up for all sorts of things. New Japan Pro Wrestling, WWE, in collaboration with our YouTube channels. And of course, AEW, as AEW Revolution is right around the corner, and we already know our main event. And also, if you haven't figured out by now, the reason I'm even in YouTube, support my friends and my family in NoDQ. Forever indebted to the NoDQ family. Thank you, Aaron Riff and company. Buy a shirt, buy a mug, buy a tapestry. That's actually the shirt that Aaron Riff personally made for me because I love Mountain Dew and I love wrestling. Always appreciate it. Just support my friends. Do it. NoDQ.com/merch. Take it to the store. Follow them on our social media platforms. Your opinions matter. There's comments and everything on the official website. Polls, columns, memes, gifts, reviews, recaps, discussions, sexy female pics. You name it is there, primarily wrestling from WWE with a little bit of AEW. Stay tuned as I will be kicking off again NoDQ Galaxy Predictions League for February with NXT TakeOver Portland and the show in Contra Redacted. And also, we will be doing predictions for AEW Revolution. I don't know if it will be all of Team NoDQ, but at least Team NJPW will be as well. Please follow the NXT team for all things NXT as well. Upcoming projects for my channel right here might include independent wrestling foreshadowing, and maybe even a weekly review of AEW Dark, because I do work with a group called Pro Wrestling Discussions, where I'm in a predictions league and we watch AEW and discuss AEW. Anyway, stay tuned for more on that. And as always, I'd like to close. Support your wrestling outlets big and small, and let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, too sweet wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that bell to know when next video is going to go live. Please hit the subscribe button. Help me grow this channel. Help me bring awareness to all things wrestling to those that don't know or someone that just wants a simple retrospective. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so far to the 115 that have subscribed to me. I believe I'm up to near 6,000 views. Not bad for a year and a half of just being a simple content creator. Not about me, about wrestling. Happy to bring the fun to you. Please follow all my friends in Team NJPW on their YouTube channels and all their social media. I need to go for my YouTube channel and really fix my wrestling community tab and add them there. And also, just stay tuned, of course, for us. We're all over the place. Twitter, Facebook, you name it. Hashtag 205 Matters Facebook group, too. That's really where I'm at my forefront. I need to bring an announcement there as well. Anyway, this certainly will not be the last stuff that I talk about as far as New Japan Pro Wrestling goes for the month of February, as we have Tiger Hattori's retirement ceremony coming up on the 19th. We have the New Japan Road going on, and I will be watching it. If something big happens, you can guarantee I'll bring you a simple extra. And also, Manabu Nakanishi, he finally calls it at the end of February, February 22nd, in Corrigan Hall. All four of these events will take place through Corrigan Hall. So stay tuned for the later half of February for more great stuff in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Then we got AEW, and then we got the anniversary show and New Japan Cup. A lot coming up in the next month, especially for New Japan Pro Wrestling. But anyway, until next time, I'm officially done here. I must now get ready to go to bed for school tomorrow on my birthday. So thank you again for tuning in, and until next time, take care, enjoy life, tomorrow's never guaranteed, treasure your families, and enjoy wrestling. There's more out there than ever before, so find what connects to you. Or find something that you want to connect to. I'm happy to help you. And until next time, as always, I appreciate you all. Arigato, tokigenyo, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you might be. But for me, it is 11:30 p.m. here on a Sunday night, February 9th. I thank you all, and I hope you all have a good night. Thank you, New Japan Pro Wrestling, for issuing in truly what is going to be a new beginning. Mark my words, folks, 2020 will be the biggest year in New Japan Pro Wrestling history. And I hope to see more Stardom involved, too. Goodbye, everybody.